Good morning, everybody. AJ, the CEO here. Hey, good morning, everybody. Yes, those are two fingers. That is a peace sign. It wasn't anything different. I hope y'all are all doing well. Happy New Year to you all. Just excited. We made it through 2024, and it's the first of. Oh, and I forgot to turn off that. Hold on. Hope y'all are all doing well. AJ, the CEO, folks, we try and come here every Friday as best as we possibly can to try and answer your media ministry questions. I don't know everything, folks, but if you have a question, hopefully, with all the stuff I've probably messed up and broke, hopefully we can get you an answer to some stuff, or we point you to the community that we are building here to bring a bunch of media ministries together to help us elevate each other and move us forward so we can have a greater impact in our city, state, country, world at large for the kingdom. That's what it's all about, folks. Again, I don't know everything, and I will tell you very quickly if it's something I don't know. But hey, we're just here to try and help out. So I want to say Happy New Year to all of y'all again. We got people from all the time zones chiming in. Thank y'all for stopping by. Let's see. Hey, James, hello, hello. Phil Joe, good morning and Happy New Year as well. Candace, hey, good morning and Happy New Year to you. Amy, hello, hello. Anthony, hello, sir. Courtney, hey, good morning to you. Mike, hello, hello. Brian Jones, how you doing, sir? Creator for Fun, hello, hello. Philip Paul, hello, hello, sir. Francisco in the West Clan, what's going on? Elder Rob, how are you doing? Dean, hello, hello. Mr. Richard, how are you doing? Robert, good morning and happy New Year to you as well too. Parker, hello, hello. Mr. Clarence, how you doing, sir? Aiken, hey, hello, hello, and thank you. And that's what we got so far. So we're kind of light this morning. I know I'm starting a little bit early. I normally try to start at 10:15, but we're going to start at 10. We're changing up a lot of stuff on our schedule this year so that we can be more proactive with a bunch of things. Juanita, hello, hello. Good morning to you and Happy New Year as well. So, folks, if you are new here or if you're watching the replay, what we're going to do is you can submit your questions here on Friday. We do the best as we can to answer your questions. But if you are watching this after the fact, or if I can't get you a question, know that you can email me at questions@ajhomes.com. Give me 48 to 72 hours to respond. If me and you go back and forth on the email at least 3 times, I would honestly highly recommend that you go ahead and book a consultation with me, which reminds me, I promised y'all and I told y'all ahead of time, we're going to have to change some prices on some stuff. I need to update that. So I'm letting you know, if you want a consultation, if you book it before this live stream is over, you'll get 2024 prices. I got to change my stuff. But anyway, set up a consultation. You can do phone, Zoom. We also do on-sites. Go ahead and book that stuff so I can sit down and you have dedicated time with me, unfiltered, focused directly on whatever stuff we can help you solve. If you are not a part of the Facebook group, folks, and actually I never even verified if my sound is sounding good. Y'all would have told me if it was bad. All right, it sounds good here. Where would I leave off? Hey, if you're not a part of the Facebook group, folks, it's just like this all the time with over 3,400 media ministries all over the world. Go to Facebook, look up Modern Media Ministry Made Easy, answer the 3 questions, and that is it. What else am I forgetting? I want to get all the formal stuff out of the way so that we can move forward. Hold on. Did I press the wrong one? No, not that one. No, not that one. Why is... Okay. For whatever reason, my Pro Presenter is not outputting anything. Why is that? Come on now. I don't know why it's not doing that. Give me 1 second. Always, excuse me, always something. Just know, folks, when we get to the question period, please start everything off with a Q. Makes it very easy for me to see exactly what you're talking about. And there it goes. There, it's working now. So what we're going to do, folks, just know if you like what we do here and you help support this ministry and what we do, you can always buy some stuff at emissionarygear.com. All the profits of that go to our giveaways and all that other fun stuff that we try and do here. We're stockpiling a lot of stuff because we got a bunch of equipment and stuff to buy for our E-Missionary Conference that is coming up. Also, Going into the year, folks, we want to shout out your team. Go ahead and send me an email at questions@ajhomes.com. Make the subject my media team and send me a picture of your media ministry. Tell me where you're located, your ministry's name, so I can shout out your media ministries, folks. We do a lot of stuff. And let me use this platform to give your people the flowers and kudos that they need, because a lot of us do a lot of work and we want to just shout y'all out. Again, thank y'all for those who are continuing to buy my book. Really, 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 really appreciate it. And like I said, folks, we are excited about our E-Missionary Conference 2025. And I don't know why that image stopped playing. Why? Oh, don't you just love this stuff? Anyway, let me just do it this way. So we got our E-Missionary Conference coming up 2025. That's what we're in. July 18th and 19th is going to be on site, in person, and online. Go to 4meconference.com to get registered. Early bird pricing ends February 1st. Right now, it's a 25% discount. Don't get the tickets before then. You get it in February. The in-person is going to be $100. Online is going to be $75 because we got a lot of stuff we got to take care of. And we got a lot of people to pay, vendors for food. So we got a lot of stuff. If I've ever worked with y'all, let y'all know that formal letters are going to be going out. I am going to be putting some promotional stuff together. So if you want to share this with your church, I'll have flyers that are going to be available on my website, as well as on the Facebook group and on my personal Facebook, AJaytheCEO. So y'all can always download that. I'm trying to get all the stuff out of the way. And again, I mentioned we have our giveaway. We are 2,000 and some change away from 70,000 subscribers. We're going to be giving away two $1,000 live streaming bundles, and then all the way up to 100,000 subscribers. Actually, no, to 250,000 subscribers. So every 10,000, that's what we're going to be doing. I promised that a long time ago. That's what we're doing. Link is down below to enter. If not, you can use this link right here, and that will get you there. So I think I got all the stuff out of the way. So ahead, folks, let's see who else is on here. Anthony, excuse me, from New Jersey. Hello. Edward, good morning. Happy New Year. P.A. Pence from Northern California. Oh, excuse me, Pete. Hello. Vinroy, good morning to you. Got it. Hello, sir. Patrick. Hello. And yeah, so let's go ahead and fire away, folks, at our questions. And like I said, every Friday, Q&A, we're going to be giving away a free ticket to our conference, an online one, as we get closer. I'm hesitant about giving away an in-person one because I don't want to give that away to somebody and then it might show up as somebody like in another country and they have no means or even plan on coming here in person. But I'll leave that up to y'all. We might do some other stuff, but let's go ahead and fire away some questions. Anthony, how can the monitors in the sanctuary not show all the graphics that are visible online using OBS? All right, sir. So what we can do, I got that prepped here so we can go through here. So I'm doing my stuff for the conference behind the scenes. I'm playing around with stuff. So anyway, let's make a new scene here. And let me bring in my camera first. And which camera are we going to use? We're going to use the Osmo. I was going to say, why does that take so long? All right, so we got our Osmo action going on right here. And if we do, what's a screen that y'all can see? Normally, you can come in here and right click and then do a full screen projection and say we want to put it on this monitor. So if I cut over to camera number 6 and let me turn off. I set up my joystick. I got a new joystick that can turn off links and stuff like that. All right, so that's coming from OBS. So it's going to project out in that way. So what we want to do is in here, normally you can come in here, right click, and you want to do a, wait a minute, I'm tripping. It used to be a way where you can only project, oh, full screen projector source. No, I did that. Yeah, it should be a source that you should be able to do. So if I come out here and full screen projector, that scene, if I change that to this, all right. So now if I switch back, all right, so I've switched back, right? But if I come back to here, you see that scene is still showing here, even though OBS is showing something completely different. So you would right click on your scene and then do a full screen projector of that. That's what's going to go. So hopefully that helps you there, sir. All right. And let me stop that so I can actually see. Come on now. I just closed OBS. So I hope that helps you. Created for fun. Can we set the IP addresses on the PTZ camera? Every time I try to put the IP address in my search tool, nothing comes up, but a lot of other searches. Yes, you can. Have a refresher. You're using the Famacos, right? Let me know, because most of the cameras, if you reset the IP address, normally like the Famacos, they go to 192.168.5. something. If you reset them, normally you would have to change the IP address to your computer or something that's on the same network or plugged into the same switch so that you can see it. But most of these other cameras have the upgrade tool, and let me find it on my computer here. No, I have it on desktop. Tools, where's my stuff at? Tools. All right, so we have an upgrade tool here. And if I bring this over here, now I have a bunch of cameras. I have PTZ optics, I have a Famaco, I have a BZB gear, I have a SMT AV, and we're going to be adding an AV cans here shortly. So if I come in here and go to the update tool, now it all depends on certain ones. Famaco does something different, but they have a program that does the same thing. So even if the camera was reset, if you do a search on this app, it will show, meaning if the IP address was reset, it will still show on here. And because it's just talking and getting access back to the protocol, the API, whatever that's running on the camera. So as long as if you have the Famaco one, there's an app that does the same thing to Famaco. It doesn't matter if the IP address is not the same. As long as you're plugged into the same network where that camera is on, you will be able to see it, and you can come in here and then you can do a config, you can change the IP addresses and all that stuff. So I would look into that, but let me know. I don't recall which camera that you had there. If it's the Famacos, they have one. Again, this was the upgrade tool that I had from PTZ Optics. That one actually saw my Famaco, the SMT, AV, and the PTZ Optics. It didn't see the BZB gear, the one that's behind me. So that app would help you. But let me know, and we can try and search through to help you as well, too, to get to that. Let me see. Not that many questions on here so far. If not, we're going to do some impromptu stuff as well, too. Dean wants to know, first off, Happy New Year to you. Have you checked out this Kickstarter called Jet KVM? I saw something like that. I have a KVM that I use. I use a software one. that works fine. Let me see. The one that you're talking about, excuse me, looks like this. Next generation open source KVM over IP for $70. Haven't really seen much on it. They done raised $2 million. I need to set me up a Kickstarter. So it says network in USB HDMI. I'm wondering, one of these you could probably make this with a Raspberry Pi. But no, I mean, that's cool. I haven't seen the video that they were talking about, but I saw a bunch of people talking about some KVMs. I have one that I'm actually using on this system over here because I actually have two PCs right here. This is I remember I was telling y'all I did a PC for a church, but then it got damaged, and I ended up having to build another one for them. This is the remainder. The whole computer got gutted. I mean, the case and everything got damaged, and the internals got damaged, except for and the motherboard. So I already had another motherboard, got that in place. So that is a 8600G. Then I have my regular system that's over here, but I can switch back and forth with that KVM. But yeah, I think it's kind of cool. I use a software one right now, so that I can go to all of my stuff right now. So it's mouse without borders. Or boundaries or whatever. So like, I don't know if you can see my mouse. I'm now on this system, and then it's just a software one, so it's over the network. So I don't know. I'll look into it and see how that goes. But it looks kind of cool. I think KVMs really help out, especially if you're doing everything by yourself. And then I ain't got to run around. I started doing that when I was at Antioch, when I had to run the live stream, the presentation and stuff. And I just got tired of running around. So that's where the software one came from. James, how long did it take you to get access to the Google Labs AI video mix tool? I haven't gotten access to it yet. Are you talking about the Veo 2.0? Is that the one that you're talking about? Or 2.0? I still have not gained access to that. Because I went to the sign up. That is Google's AI thing that actually beat the brakes off of what was the other one that wasn't doing too hot? But this one looks sick. I can't wait to get access into it. Every time I try to go to the sign up list, it kind of wigs out on me. Like even right now, every time when I try and sign in, it says sign in. I sign in. Then it takes me back to a page saying sign in again. And then when I go to the join list, so I mean, I've been on the join list, so I don't know. I think a lot of these AI video editors are going to be really cool and really help out a lot. Hey, thank you for that. Are you talking about the scripture ones? If so, thank you. And if not, hey, that's cool. I really like these big mouse pads as well. I need to probably do some there at other places where I'm normally at. Patrick, do you use any AI tools to cut up sermon clips to make YouTube shorts? Actually, at the beginning of December, I ended up finally getting Opus clips. I've only used it a couple of times because some of my content is not clip worthy just because of how long some of my stuff is. But again, I wanted to play around with that to see if that would be a good option for some other ministries. So like right now, these two is where I used Opus clips for. And normally I used to do the stuff all in DaVinci Resolve, but I'm trying to offload a lot of things. So yes, I think it's really good. I used it like the $9 a month one. So I'm kind of limited on what I can do, but I want to start playing around with it some more and probably recommend it. I'm not at any dedicated media ministry right now. I am, as much as I didn't want to, I am starting to help back Antioch with their video announcements, and I need to log in and see if they actually have announcements so I can actually make it for them since I'm going to be back down in Oxford Sunday. But yes, I think Opus Clips is cool. If not, you could do it in DaVinci Resolve. It makes it a lot, it's time consuming, but the AI one makes it a lot easier. So I personally have been using that. So might dabble with that when it comes to ministry clips and stuff like that. Bruce, good morning to you. And James is saying he uses sermon shots. I heard about that one. Let's see. Sermon shots. Let me see. Two clips for free. $39 a month. Unlimited clips, though. I'm wondering how that price compares. So if we go to pricing here, 3,600 per year, credits per year, 2 users. So I want to see how that compares. I mean, it looks like that would give you more. But yeah, I need to paid yearly, 700 up front. I don't know. That's almost like a hop, skip, and a jump, $100 shy of having Vimeo for an entire year. Stuff's getting pricey, but I mean, if you're happy with it, I think that's really cool. I mean, there's so many other tools that are out there to help leverage your ministry. Bishop Michael, hello, and Happy New Year to you as well, too, sir. Ray B from Indiana, waiting for the winter storm with lots of snow. Awesome. Will you be safe out there? Okay, I already responded to that. ISO OJ. Hi, how can I use my phone as video switcher and also my vMix Live is lagging? First, if your vMix Live is lagging, it's most likely, need to define what you mean by lagging. Is it lagging on the live stream or is it lagging you running the program? And also, is the video lagging or the audio lagging? Most of those could either be that the computer is not fast enough that you're running vMix on, or you have the settings too high, or your upload is not enough. And use your phone as a video switcher. I am not aware of any program that can have your phone as a video switcher because that is going to be very taxing on your phone. I am not aware of any program that can run on your phone as a video mixer, like video switcher, kind of like vMix or something like that. But give me some more details. But that's what it sounds like. The system is not there. Back to what James was saying in reference to the sermon clips. A little choppy. It works. The only flaw is I would prefer to link our videos to sermon shots via Google Drive. When I do that, it takes a long time. Uploading gets buggy. All righty. Today. Hi, AJ. Thanks for all you do. Hey, you're welcome. I have 2 issues. 1, I bought a AVCAN's IP joystick in the summer new on Amazon. Recently just froze on boot and does not work. What do you recommend? I actually had a similar issue. I ended up getting a new IP joystick from AVCAN's for Antioch, and I think I pushed the upgrade that they recommended because the new upgrade allows for AI tracking to turn on and off. So that was like actually a button I was trying to set. I thought I had set on my camera, and it changed my controls. So like right now, I'm turning this feature back on. So it's a dedicated button for turning the tracking on and off. So if I get rid of this, let's go to number 8. So right now, we got a button here. So I have number 5 and number 6. So if I turn off, see now tracking should be off. So if I get up and move, see that doesn't, I'm on the wrong camera. AJ. Camera 1. Now turn it off. All right, so see, now it's not tracking me at all. But then if I go back and turn it on, So now we're back to tracking. So that's the reason why I ended up getting one of those newer joysticks, so that the AI tracking camera that we installed at Antioch is a press of a button, and it gives more features than the old Huddle Cam that they had. That was actually a version 1 that they have, so it didn't give any more controls. Anyway, I say all that to say that there was a firmware update that gave that functionality. When I did that firmware update, it just tanked everything and the screen was messing up and all that other stuff like that. So what I would do is email AVCams, and it all depends the type of joystick that you have, because as long as you have a web interface, you should still be able to email them and they send you a updated firmware to fix that. I would try that first. If it doesn't, see what they can do about that. And we'll see. That's the best that I can suggest for that. And I'm gonna try and stand up here for a little bit. Stretch these legs out. And then your part 2, is there a way to activate auto tracking on it? That's exactly what we just talked about. This new update actually gives you that button for that. And what you did is exactly the reason why I ended up going with a newer joystick for that. So that firmware update does add that functionality. So created for fun. Yes, that's the Famaco. Yeah, if you go to Famaco's website, let me sit back down and let's go through that one. So if we go to Famaco.net and go to support and downloads, and technically this should work since I have a Famaco as well. Where is it at? Yeah, the search tool. So if we fire that away, let's extract that to my downloads folder. There we go. And we run that. Even if it's not on the network, see, it's looking for that device, that 5.163. And let me turn my highlights on so y'all can see from right there. Close, close, close. Yes, I want to close. And if we do a search, see, there's the Famaco. That's 93. So if you come in here, you should be able to get access to that, at least see which one it is. It looks like this is an older version, so you can't right click on this and change your network, but at least it will tell you what the IP address is. And you would have to go the old way and change your network so that you can get to that. So you would just change your IP address to, like in this scenario, change it to like 192.168.5. something in that range, and then you can go to the address of the camera. If you still have an issue with that, well, you shouldn't, because if you can't get to it, the fact that it's showing an IP address, that means it's addressable. So that's what I would do. Just change the camera, your computer or something to the IP address, and you should be able to get to it to access it. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, but let me know if you have any other issues, and we can try and remotely see what we can do to fix it. Cool, Frankie. Happy New Year to you as well too. I have 2 AVCams PTZs. I tried using the PTZ Optics desktop app to control both cameras, but it only works with camera 1 and not camera 2. I can't seem to find the reason. Which model of the AVCams are you using? Are you using the E20s? Let me know the model, because I do have some other ones in here. Here we go. Hi, brother. I see you repping our alma mater. Yes, I am representing Hampton. Student loan is paid off, so now I can, yes, I will represent them. Represent them. Dean, do you have a Blackmagic micro level stream switcher panel? If so, can it work with the Extreme? Yes, and I am using it with the Extreme right now. So yes, that does work. That's what I've been using this entire time. So if I switch back and forth, or right here, yes. So really, really cool tool. G. Albert, I've installed OBS, but I'm not sure if it's the Studio or Basic. There is no Studio or Basic version of OBS. It's all exactly the same. If you're installing a Studio version and it has it by name, you might have downloaded a bootleg version of it, because Studio in OBS is the display that shows up, not a version. So like right now, if I cut back over here, see, this is basic, but the Studio mode just shows me a program in preview. That's all that is. So there is no version. It's always OBS Studio. There is no basic or anything like that. So hopefully that helps y'all. And also, you're saying, do you have a list of programs, plugins? I mean, the ones that I use, most of the time I've done a video about, but the Ultram Multi-Stream is the one that I use, the animated lower thirds. The Atrium also gives you vertical streaming as well too, so you can stream to TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, any of those like that. Also, the Bible plugin, have that as well too. The one that Mike recommends a lot, I've not used it, but Mike recommends it, is the Audio Monitor plugin. I believe that's the name of it. So you can change different audio stuff. So that's the ones that I recommend. I think I answered this, but it's not. Yes, I am. All right, James. Yeah, I'm waiting to get access to it as well too. Let's see. I need help for Bible presenter for my church that has all Bible version free. I don't understand what you're saying. Are you talking about the Bible plugin in OBS? Are you talking about Worship Tools Presenter? Because most of the Bibles, if you're using Worship Tools Presenter, I have most of those Bibles that I found for free on my website. And if people keep going to my website and downloading everything and then charging it on their own bootleg website, I might have to start charging for it. But if you go to my website, AJaytheCEO, and you go to Bibles, if you're talking about Worship Tools Presenter, I got all these versions of the Bible here for free. But I don't know if that's what your question was. But let me know. But if you went to AJaytheCEO.com, you can get Bible versions that work with Worship Tools Presenter for free. Dr. Rowe, hey, thank you for the super chat. I'm surprised it didn't pop up. Normally it is. Is it best to use a matrix or a bus channel to send audio from the X32 to live stream? That's all dependent on how you do stuff. So for right now, I actually have a rack mount. Let me cut over this camera. I actually have a rack mount that I'm going to be installing at St. Stephen's. So, and I'm going to set them up for their live streaming and stuff like that. So from a matrix, me personally, I like setting up a bus because most of the people who are using this stuff, they're not familiar with doing mixing. So what I like to do is, yes, matrices will make it easier, but I'm more of wanting to teach them to know exactly what's going on. So when people are using this, okay, I got the fader for this. This is inside the house, but then I cut over to the live stream and now I can set something completely different. So for example, say you have praise dancers and they're playing a track that you don't have the rights for, but you want to play it inside the house, inside the church. You could do that, but then you don't want that to go to a live stream. That's why I like a separate bus, because I can turn that down on a live stream, but then everything is perfectly fine inside the house. You do that with a matrix, you're still gonna have to go and touch the matrix to turn that off. So I'm like, if I'm already gonna touch it anyway, for that matrix to go to the live stream, if I'm projecting something that shouldn't go there anyway, why not just do a bus? That's me. Plus, I need to have my mind wrapped around it, because for me and the people I've dealt with, if a matrix makes it easier to where it will just take whatever that you do on your main mix and it sends it to the live stream and no one wants to learn how that works, that makes it difficult. So when you come into a situation like the praise dancers, or somebody wants to bring a track or something like that, that you need to know how that stuff works so that you can go back in and fix it when you have those situations that pop up. That's personally why I do it that way. But there really isn't a right or wrong way. I just like it when it comes to like how I'm teaching and the understanding. That's the way I do it. So either one will work. And again, thank you for the super chat. Candace, how can I get my virtual screens and Proclaim onto the monitors? I was suggested I use a Decklink Duo, but my connections are HDMI. Does Proclaim work directly with the Decklink? It's been a minute since I've used that. Okay, so we're going to Proclaim's website right now. To use your Blackmagic device and play, you need to do a setup, blah, 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 download that. Okay, all right, so good. They do support it. Now, how many monitors do you need? Because I use a Decklink mini monitor on my computer right now, as well as, well, all of my systems use those. I have used a Decklink Duo, but like you said, that's SDI out. The Decklink mini monitors and they give you SDI and HDMI out. But again, it's dependent on how many outs do you need. Show me all of them, man. I don't want to just see just your new stuff. Monitor HD. You take me. That's the one. So with these, well, that's the 4K one. You don't need the 4K one. Well, I don't know what the resolution output that you're trying to do, but like I do the Monitor HD that goes up to 1080p, and with that one, like here, it gives you SDI or HDMI, and it actually pushes it out on both channels. But again, how many specific outs do you need? Because you can install 3 of them if the computer supports it. You can put in as many as you want that your computer support. That's what I would do, and that will give you a HDMI out as well too. Make sure it's the mini monitor though. Ty, hey, from cold Wisconsin. Yeah, it was rainy last time when I got diverted out that way. But hey, Happy New Year to you as well too. Courtney was saying Pulpit AI has been pretty useful for clips as well too. Cool. Bishop Michael, how often does the X32 need firmware updates, and how do we do that if it's necessary? Not honestly. I think they are actually pushing out the X32. I think this year is probably going to be the last time I use that as an install product. But they don't really do that often of firmware updates. It's not like your Windows computer. So if I go over here to the X32, and I use the rack because that's the one I have right now. And we go to firmware. Yeah, the latest version was like 4.13. So honestly, you don't need to update it that much unless you're noticing that there's an issue. Like I recommend going to the 4.0 because I think it was in 4.0, but at minimum 4.0, I think I forget the version, 4.09, I believe, that allowed you to have addressable individual channel addressing. That's one update that I feel is very, very, very beneficial. Any other stuff, I haven't really noticed it. If you're anything less than 3, yes, you need to update to 4.0. And I actually did an update. I mean, I did a video showing that, but really all you're gonna do is you would download the file. And what other updates did it have? See, this just did bug fixes, Dante text, added support for this chip, phantom power. So nothing really major. But for the firmware, all you're doing is gonna download one file, and that's the notes. So we would just download the file. When we open it, it's this one file. We will put it on a thumb drive. In the root of the thumb drive, make sure it's formatted as FAT32. If you don't know what that is, just put the your thumb drive in. I got one over here. So we get our thumb drive, unplug my fan. So I just hooked that drive up here. So we come in here and we just right click on it, go to properties, and see right there, it says it's FAT32. So this drive I could use. If it's not, you just pick it, and there ain't nothing on this drive, so this is fine. We can just right click on it, format, select FAT32, because that's what the X32 reads. Run it real quick. All right, format is done. And we go back to the drive. See, nothing is on it now. And all we would do is take this drive, put it on here, plug this USB into the X32. So in here, so there's not one on the front on here. So on the front, I would put the USB in there. And once I boot it up, you can go to the firmware through the menu, and it should read the firmware, push the firmware update. But before you do that, please back up your scenes before you try and do anything. So that way, if something got messed up, you can resort back, and all of the settings will be saved on your thumb drive or somewhere else. Always back up your scenes and everything before you do any type of updates. And no matter what mixer you use, always make a scene before you start touching stuff. That's the sign of whoever you're working with. The nicest way I can say, whether they know what they're doing or not. If you got somebody that's gonna make some adjustments to your mixer, the first thing they should always do, a digital mixer mainly, back up everything before they touch anything. So that way, while they're working, if they had any issue, they can always revert back to how everything was working before they touched anything. And then when they're done and everything is working, make a scene of the finished product. That's what every time I've made changes and done stuff down at Oxford or anyone, make a backup before I start touching stuff, do all the stuff. When I know it's working, then make a backup. So that's what I would say. Really, really straightforward. Nothing really too difficult with that. for your cert. Let me see. All right, so we got a bunch of people helping each other, so great. Alex, hello, hello. All right, so that is the E20. And so it said it's not working. So give me a half a second. I have two of those cameras here for install at St. Stephen's. So maybe we can hook these up real quick. Well, I just need one. No, you said one of them is working. Can you confirm that they are on different IP addresses as well too? And make sure that they're not the same, because that might be a part of the issue. So here's the AV cams, one's right here, not even opened. I'm gonna be installing them next week. And I need a knife. My box cutter is in the garage in my car, so I'm not going to go do that. But let's see if we can get this working for you. Give an example of it at least. Come on now. So you said it's working for one, but not the other. The other thing I would say, verify that the ports and everything are right using the CMS camera app. So from here, come on. So we got one right here. I think I got a cable that I can hook this up. So here's one cable. We'll hook that one up. That is powering up. We got our second one here, and I need a cable. Oh, come on. Get this cable here. And I'm not liking this cable, it's sticking too much. All right, got this one here. All right, both of them are powering on right now. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find the IP address for the cameras. So I believe I have the CMS app on here. So we're gonna go over here. CMS. All right, so I have the AV Cans app here whenever it wants to come up. There it goes. All right, so we got that there. Let's search. Those are the two cameras. So we got two separate IP addresses. So that's fine. And now if we do the PTZ Optics app, and let me change the resolution just a little bit so y'all can see it easier. All right, so we got that, and I'm gonna add these here. So let's go here to multi-camera setup, and we'll put the IP addresses here. That will be 192.168.023. Then also 192.168.0245. So that'll be camera 7 and 8. So let's see if we connect to them. If I hit 7, now I just took these out the box, all right? So normally, all right, so see it says it failed, and it's most likely the port. All right, so they both failed. All right, so let's add these and let's look at our settings on here. Go remote config into one of these. We want to look at our ports protocol. Let's change that to UDP. And let's put the IP address in here. We're gonna try that. This is just process of elimination. We wanna see how this stuff works. So that's 23. Let's go here again. All right, still that's not working. Let's do a comparison, just show which one is working. So if I go to PTZ Optics, don't tell me that one's failing too. No. It would have said it failed. I'm looking to see if it's moving. All right, so I'm actually connected. I don't know why the video is not showing. App cut up on me. Let's open it up again. So snap to here, we do overhead. See, it did connect. It's just not showing me the feed. Let's try another one. All right, that one says it's refused. So I'm gonna go here. As you can see, I'm on this screen right now. If I go to camera 5, so I'm set to the overhead right now. So if I do this, and let me cut over here so you can still see me. So I'm moving this just with the app, so I can control it. So if we go to camera number 7, it still says connection refused. I might have to play with this one a little bit more. It's something with the protocol in this network that's giving that issue. No, because that's trying to remember, because I don't know if it was you had to put in a port in that. You're making me go back and try and remember the rest of the stuff. So that says connection refused. Let's go back in here and let's do port 1259. Host not found. Yeah, you said you got one of them to work. I might have to rinse and repeat and come back on this one because I do have, those are brand new cameras out of the box. I need to play around with that one. I'm gonna get you an answer for that one. And you said they're both on different IP addresses. Yeah, I don't know on that one. I'm gonna have to circle back with you on that one. Psalm, hello, Happy New Year to you as well. Dwayne, Happy New Year to you as well. I'm still going through design considerations for a church system. Would you recommend live streaming via NDI and OBS or using the A10 Mini Pro? The client already has PTZs. Let me turn picture in picture off. NDI only if you are sure that you're sure that if there's an issue, whoever's there can fix it without calling you. Also, is it set up to also be able to handle, they know how to sync up the audio with the video over NDI? There's a NDI, yes, is easier to install, but to maintain it is the main issue. That's the reason why I don't use NDI for full stuff. I use NDI for sending clocks, countdowns, lower thirds. When I introduce video over NDI, then I have to add in syncing the audio with the video if it gets out of sync. If something happens with the network, are you proficient enough? Whoever is proficient enough to fix the network. That's the other things that I would concern. So for me, I'm still old fashioned. I would still go with stuff being physically plugged in over NDI solely. That's just me. Soccer highlights. Good day. Thank you for your good work. Hey, you're welcome. Do you have any idea on how to create a lower third that looks like a news broadcast? Yes, I have. I don't have anyone directly, but a lot of examples that I've used is I use live scoreboard when I was doing formation sports and we were doing sports games. I used to do stuff like that. But the other one that you can download the ATEM software, because what it also does when you install it, even if you don't have an ATEM, it gives you a template for different examples. So you can't see it on the screen. I'm opening it. All right, so it comes with this and it has different templates in here that you can edit. So like they have this sports lower third. Let me open up Photoshop. And of course it opens it on the wrong screen. I'm gonna bring it over so you can see it. Oh, that was bland. So they have this one that you can always edit. That was just me picking something. Let me see another one that they got. Oh, well, I didn't look it right there. So these are more for framing in sports. We're looking for lower thirds. Let's see, under generic. So they do give you some type of templates that you can at least play around with to get you. I mean, this is where I started with mine. I would go in there and at least give me some examples, and it gets me going on but now what specific type of lower third are you looking for? Are you looking for scoreboards? Are you looking for announcers? Are you looking for teams? Let me know. We can go from there. Lamar, hey, good morning. Do you have any suggestions on some storage bags for the AVCANs E20s? They are a setup town down ministry. Honestly, there isn't one specifically for that, but what I did for my drone, originally before they started making cases, you can get yourself a Pelican case and make sure you get the right size. And then inside the case, you can get foam, and it's breakaway foam that you can set the interior to whatever you need. So like when I had my drone, it had this foam insert, and you see the little squares in here. You can pull out the square to match the frame of whatever stuff that you put in there, the PTZ cameras and stuff like that, and it makes it really easy. So I'll put a link to that, but that's what I've used. Just at least it'll give you an idea. I don't know if you would need something that big, but this is kind of the stuff that I would use and have used. Put that here real quick. All righty. Back to soccer highlights. Also, what camera would you recommend for auto tracking in the church? Honestly, at this point, most of the AI stuff, it's not like they have chips supporting the AI. It's all software based. So at this point, you can get AI tracking in almost any camera that's like maybe 500 and up. It all depends. Now, with all these cameras, the AI, it hasn't gotten good enough yet to lock onto one person if multiple people are walking. That's the reason I was saying with the ones that was installed in Antioch, I got this updated remote that we can turn on and off the AI tracking when preaching is starting, when there's only one person on the pulpit. I would do it for that. But I've used, if I cycle through the ones we got right here, that's a PTZ Optics that has tracking on it. We also have the BZB gear that's behind me that's doing the tracking. Then we have the Famako over here. And I just turned on the tracking. So need to turn the speed up a little bit. And then I don't know if those other ones we just did, the AV cans ones that I just took out, if they support it. Let's see. So we go in here. It's normally admin 123. So I don't know. Some of these other ones you can. I think it's the next model up. They do support tracking. So yeah, it all depends on your budget. So if you went to let me just actually do this AI tracking PTZ camera. So you can get one as low as $560. This is the AI tracking version of the ones I just had. That's going for $450. This one, I haven't used this for Mako one, but this one's going for $380. Yeah, I mean, it's software at this point. So any of these would work fine. I've pretty much used all of the ones here. So that one was last year. This is the tracking version of the one that I have. This is the one we installed 3 years ago. So almost a bunch of these, the sub $1,000 ones we've used. So any of them will work, but just again, realize that the AI is not good enough yet to lock on to one person and stay to that one person. So yes, they work. I turn them on when it's needed. Like right when the sermon starts, like I think, let me see. Like I helped run the New Year's Eve service at Antioch, and I was using the AI tracking on that. So let me see where that was. Yeah, that was New Year's Eve service. So it's like from right here, if I cut over here and skip forward. So pretty much where Pastor Paul was here, that was the AI tracking the entire time. So if I can get to a place where he is walking, so that's when Deacon Otay got up there. That's where I turned the AI tracking off. So again, as you can see, ain't nobody there. I'm trying to get to a place where he was actually moving. So, I mean, again, it works well. The fact that it's people in this in the back of their head, that's not that big of an issue. There you go. That's when you start moving. So the AI is tracking him the entire time. Now, if somebody else was facing forward, that might be an issue. But normally with the AI tracking, I turn it on when it's stuff like this. It's not that many people facing forward, and it's been working fine for that. So, and all of them are kind of the same, to be quite honest with you. Reverend Leroy, hello, hello. Bishop Michael wants to know, am I going to start using the wing? Possibly. That's what I'm looking at probably going towards. I was looking at getting the Behringer wing rack mount. I wanted to try to reach out to Behringer to see if they can give me a sample to play around with it. I got to show them, you know, my repertoire of saying like, hey, we want to do this. So I can, you know, it's almost like a resume, like getting a job. I got to start showing people like, hey, I'm not just asking for this. We try and influence and we install this stuff for ministries. So I want to see about that so I can play around with that, because that might be the next update. Or the prices on the X32s have dropped significantly. So if you're looking at getting one, you can get one real good prices. Like regularly, the rack mounted X32 normally is going for $1,300. I bought it for this church at 13, and then a week later they dropped the price down to $900. So it's a good time to grab that stuff. G. Albert, I have a Behringer K900 FX amp. After being on for 30 minutes or so, it starts to create a staticking sound that sounds like a Gatling gun. I'm not interested in replacing it, but if it's gone, I don't know if I don't see a second part to that. Okay. James, think about future-proofing our AV setup by getting everything ready to stream 4K. What are your thoughts about the A10 Production Studio 4K live switcher? What stand do you recommend? Personally, I have no interest in going to 4K for a church yet, because again, the platform for live streaming it, then you're gonna have to do a lot of going to 12G cables if you're using SDI, then 4K supported HDMI cables, then it's your bandwidth. I mean, I think the Production Studio 4K is a good switcher. I think the production one does not have I don't believe that one has, that's the Constellation. I don't believe that one has it doesn't have SuperSource, and it doesn't have native streaming. You would have to still have USB out and it goes to a computer or something like that. It doesn't natively have that streaming built in. Any of the higher ones, you're still gonna have to connect it to a computer, or you're just gonna have to straight take the USB out to whatever platform, of Restream, StreamYard, something like that. But I mean, I was thinking about getting something for like the conference. If we get a sponsor or something like that, I was thinking about getting one of the big constellations that has the SuperSource built into it and let that run everything. We set big dreams and see where we go from there. But I mean, I think it's fine. Me personally, I just don't, I know the infrastructure that it would take for the 4K stuff, and it would cost a whole lot more for getting that stuff in place. That's just me. It's easier for me to do it here because it's just me. And I ain't got to worry about anything. And yes, I do all my videos in 4K and stuff like that. So, and that sets me up in the future because it's a one-man team right now. Now, when it comes to streaming everywhere else, Vimeo supports 4K, YouTube supports 4K, Facebook does not, Twitch does not, unless they've changed something I'm not aware of. I don't believe Amazon does. So you just got, it's a lot of other stuff to think about it. So that's just me personally. Candace, follow up on my question. We have 2 congregational monitors, 1 confidence monitor and a live stream virtual screen that will go to OBS for the live stream. So 2 unique outputs. So you can get 2 DeckLink mini monitors, and that would give you the HDMI out, run an HDMI out into a splitter. That would go to your main sanctuary monitors, and then the other confidence monitor, you just label it as a confidence monitor on that DeckLink, and that would give you the same thing. And each one of those, the mini monitor HDs go for $130 each. So as long as your computer can support that, then that can work. Frankie, yeah, like I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to play around with this one a little bit more, and I'll do a follow-up if I can figure that out. Philip Paul, any thoughts on media converter for the church use? Basically, it's RJ45 to fiber optic converter as I look. RJ45 to fiber optic converter. I mean, but what is it going to be used for? What are you putting in place to do? Opie's Joe, Hey, thanks for your videos so far. We currently use Easy Worship PC1 and OBS PC2. So we send Easy Worship signal to OBS wirelessly in DI. That way we get Bible output and songs on OBS. The issue now is there's always lag while sending output from Easy Worship. What's your network? Is the computer wired or is wireless? And then also, what's the resolution that you're sending from Easy Worship to OBS? That was another thought as well too. T, I am doing good, T. Quick question. One of our PTZ cameras, when we zoom in, it loses focus and can only get it to refocus when we zoom all the way out. So essentially we cannot use the camera. What I would look at when I've had an issue with that, make sure that the auto exposure, the auto focus, the auto white balance is not set too high. I had the exact same issue thinking it was a zoom. And when I turned that stuff off, it was actually at Signs and Wonders what had happened and it stopped working. It was with the Famacos. And then when I turned that stuff off, everything worked. I think stuff was just set too high. I would look into that. Benny, Happy New Year to you as well too. OBS is always on top of the screen unless I minimize it. No other app can show above OBS unless it is minimized. Any solution? Yes, you just have to turn that off in the OBS. So inside of OBS, go here to view and uncheck always on top. And then you should be good to go. So announcers, lower thirds. Yeah, I would still download the latest ATEM software. That example of templates, I would use one of those. And if you don't have Photoshop, you can use Photopea online. That will open up Photoshop files and you can edit that way. That's how I started. When I started everything in Antioch, I pulled down those examples and I just put in the pastor's name, the choir name in that until I got comfortable making one. That would be the easiest thing. Dwayne, thanks so much for this information. I didn't think of that. I'm going to stick with HDMI. They are already making a jump from an analog to a digital mixer. NDI would just add confusion. Awesome, glad it helped you. Dean was saying, can you check out Uno overlays for lower thirds? Yes, I will look into that. Uno overlays. So, free real-time overlays, no zip files, no nonsense. When it comes to this is the first thing I jump to. What is the pricing? Free. Get started and explore with no cost, no commitment. I might play around with this and see what this does. So thank you for that. I will bookmark that and come back and look into those. You know, we try and look at what we can do for free before we had to spend some money. Richard, do you know if the Facility PTZ controller has to be programmed to turn on AI tracking on? Yes, you would have to program it. Most of the joysticks that I've used, they've had to do a firmware update, or you would have to put in hex code in to send that command to turn it on and off. Originally, before that joystick update, some cameras, you can't see it, I have a command right here. It's an HTML, it's a URL that sends a command to the camera as well too to turn that off. I don't know what cameras you got. The Famaco actually does work that way. So like if I go to this and I'm gonna hit the joystick button on here. So, I mean the HTML path. So like if I hit off right now, see now this should be off. So it's not tracking me. But if I hit on, now it's tracking me. So that was a URL that does that. And not all cameras support that. So if I cut back over here and I'll show you the command for that, and you can at least try it. So here on my Stream Deck, this is the command. And that's real tiny. So it's the IP address of the joystick, and then it was CGI-bin, param, all this other stuff, and it's a command. It doesn't work with all cameras. So this command does not work with the BZB gear, but it does work with the Fumaco. It does with the PTZ optics. The AI tracking camera that I installed at Antioch, this does not work. But the other cameras that do support AI tracking, that does work. So I don't know if YouTube is going to give me an issue if I do this. I'm just going to say PTZ URL, PTZ IP address. That's on, that's off. And then the other one is just on. And these are the commands that work for me. You can try this to see if it works. If it does, then you can just make this as a button like I have on my Stream Deck, or you could have, you can just make that a link that you have on your web page. And once you open it, it just goes. So like, again, if I go here and just go on, and I open up this browser here, and I put that command in there, see, it says success. And now it's, if I go to that camera, see, it's tracking. But if I go here and just change that to off, success, I go back, see, it's not following me. So I'll do it again. I'm gonna change this to on. Now it's on. Now it's tracking. So really cool. Hopefully that script goes through that y'all can read, and that will work for you. Philip Paul. Can I know what is the difference between the paid version and free version of Presenter Worship Tools plan? Which plan can I run two computers at the same time? You would need a paid plan. Any of the paid plans will work. The paid plan allows you to, well, let's just look at their website and it talks through it. So we go here under pricing and we go to Presenter. So the main difference here, you have 5 gigs of storage space, 30 users can be added, unlimited items can be added. You also have access to the stage display, and they actually bumped the price up by $10. No, by $5 on each one. Remote access, you can have multiple outputs. That's the Pro. The Pro Plus, unlimited users, 50 gigs of storage, advanced permissions, simultaneous presentation sessions. So this is the one that you would need if you wanted to run multiple presenters at the same time. And I believe this one is the only one that allows you to do it offline. Simultaneous sessions, yeah, this is the only one. And it used to be, I don't know if they took that away or not. Online and offline. Oh, both of them have it now. So all of them can use it offline, but if you want to run simultaneous, you have to have the Pro Plus for that version. Yeah, I want to get my hands on one of those, to be quite honest. And it's the rack mounted one. I mean, I've messed with the Wing once. It was a church that where was I at? I mean, thankfully I've traveled so much. Some of the stuff I'm forgetting what location was which. Most of the time, that's why I do those review videos. So when I go back to do an install, I actually have to go look at the thing because it's been so long for some places that I don't recall what the stuff is. So the wing that I'm talking about is the rack mounted one that's going for like 16 or 1700, and it's a touch screen. It has a whole lot of ports and all the other good stuff on here. Really playing around with that. I think that's probably going to be the one that I move to. I'll go back to the X32 rack if it's a pricing issue, but that's also dependent on the availability. But really looking forward to that, the rack mounted one. I saw a couple of people do reviews, been trying to reach out to them to see if I can get a sample to test with it. Worst case scenario, we finish up a couple of projects and I take care of my other financial responsibilities. Never know, might buy one. Probably won't, but might buy one. And then I can actually have free reign to do whatever with it. Derek, I got the AVCAN's AI tracking camera, and my experience has been positive, but you are right, AJ. If you have another person facing the camera, it will sometimes lock on that person and lose the speaker. Yeah. What PC specs is sufficient enough to run presenter with stage display, main display? It's not. The good thing with Worship Tools presenter is not taxing. So it's not really specs that are needed. You need more of outputs for that. So it's not like Pro Presenter. It's not gonna, you don't need a beefy computer to run all of that when you're running presenter. I mean, you can get away with an i3. I never do an i3. You can do an i5, or you can even do a Ryzen 3, and you would have more than enough. 16 gigs in memory is more than enough for all of that. James saying, looking at trying other platforms outside of Facebook, YouTube to embrace 4K. Only ones I'm aware of is Vimeo right now. Brian, it's going to be tight since I have to finish doing a little bit of work down at Oxford. Well, and I know my daughter's going to be with me, so we're going to have to be back because she starts school back on Monday. So I will let you know if we don't have it. If you don't hear nothing from me, then yes, we are going to have a round table on Sunday. Bishop Michael, how far away are you from Martinsville? I have a church there that needs AV consultant. I'll be there in February. Martinsville, Virginia? It shouldn't be that far. I remember driving through that. Hold on. Let me see. How far away are we? Yeah, it's a 3-hour drive. That's like almost me going. It's actually past Lynchburg. So it'll be like I'm going to my mom's house. So about another hour past going home. So not that far from there. Back to your question, you said both laptops are connected to the router wirelessly. I would connect them with a cable, and you might not have any issues with that. G. Alvaro saying, have I compared the RCP video switcher? No, I have not heard of that one. I do have another video switcher that AVCANs is sending to me. You said the RCP video switcher. I don't see a RCP video switcher. Is there a specific, what's the vendor? Because I just put it up in search. I see a local type of controller, but I don't know exactly what you're talking about. See, this came up, but that's just a controller. Then when I do here, again, that's just That's the same thing. So I don't know exactly what one you're talking about. Well, let me know. Alex said he uses Una overlays. Cool. I'll look into that. Yuki. Hi, AJ. Can you give me tips for our live stream church, for a small church? Thank you. Well, what type of tips are you looking for? And if you can post a link, we can look at it and give you some examples so I can know which direction to go with suggestions that you're talking about. Found the problem. Change the port under the protocol tab into 5678 for the second camera, so both the cameras. Sweet. Glad you got it working, because that's what we were going through. Did you have it on TCP or UDP? But thanks for that. Back to Bishop Michael. Some time ago, you presented a software that was AI, allowed us to write music or something like that. Do you remember? Yes, that's UDO Asuno. Typing up right now. That is here. And if my sister's still on here, she was messing with that as well too. She got hooked on that. So that's Suno and then UDO that you got on there that you can do music with either one. I think they've kind of changed something that now it's not unlimited. You still can use that. So, but I mean, they still work. I actually made tracks under my name as well as stuff for church. So it was always funny when people come in and say, hey, I own this song. No, you don't. No, you do not. And every time I have won that debate and when people lay claim to stuff. Hey, you are welcome. I'm glad to be of help. Ryan from Barbados, hello and Happy New Year to you as well. UTV. What's up, AJ? Not much. No question, just a comment. I traded my Ada NDI 20X for the Bird Dog X4 Ultra. Man, this camera's all that. Tracking is great. Pictures crisp. Wi-Fi NDI. Sweet, sweet. Thank you for that update. And also you said, I had the wing rack and sent it back. It had an issue with the network ports. I'm giving them a few months to get some firmware issues sorted. Thank you for that. I won't be spending no money on that until that's taken care of. That's the beauty of the community, folks. Regarding the media converter, it's actually using two devices as transfer and receive. We noticed in one of our customers' place where they're used to transfer their CCT camera from the internet switch to NVR. Okay. Michael, have you used AAA batteries or rechargeables? What brands do you recommend? Yes, I've used rechargeables. I use the envelope ones on Amazon. That's what I've used. Crystal, good morning. We have an X-Air system for mics on our streams. It's terrible sound through those since it goes out of the in-house speakers and the laptop picks it up. Can I run it through the laptop? We have the X-Air system for mics on our streams. It's terrible sound though. Now, are you using that solely for your live stream, or is that the same system that handles your house and the live stream, or is it that in addition to what you're using with your live stream? Let me know and we can circle back with that. Yeah, that's about 3.5 hours away. Not that far. But just let me know. Email me at questions@AJHomes to let me know and see if I'm in that area. Back to Robert. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate being able to jump on here and learn from this community. Hey, I'm glad you're able to be here. And hey, that's just a sign of the bringing everybody together to work together. That's what it's all about. Back to Philip Paul. Regarding the PC specs, mainly it's the graphics card that matters, right? That would give us the extra outputs. Yes, that is correct. Because Worship Tools Presenters does not use NDI or nothing like that. So it's all dependent on how many outputs your graphic card supports. I have the Facility PTZ camera, and I tried adding a camera several times with no luck. I finally got it working, but it is now camera 22. Is there a way to change the number to 2? How is it connected? Is it over IP or is it RS-232? I don't know which one you have. Some of them have a web interface. You could log into the web interface and change that ID number. If not, then we got to play around with that. Back to Crystal. We have a very basic setup as far as streaming goes. I just use a Canon EOS 80D for the video connected via USB cord. I don't know if I need any additional connections. Technically, no, you don't. In your setup, because if you're going in there, and if you're using the X-Air, I mean, the X-Air works. I mean, I've used that one before. It's a good system. I'm just wondering, maybe with tuning it can get you some better stuff. Because if you're saying it's sounding terrible, I'm just wondering, you probably need to play around with the gain and just balance out everything. Because if it was inherently the mixer, you would have way more issues than that. And then also, are you having that plugged into a Mac? What's the setup and what's the streaming software that you're using for that? Might be that you're duplicating, might be picking up laptop or the camera audio and adding it on top and it's doing an echo. It could be that, but let me know and we can go from there. Alex, thank you for that. Let me look that up. Let's see. Yeah, it's still. Let me say this product is hold on, let me show you what I'm looking at. It says this is a product for the FSN series. That's end of life. So they ain't making that no more. So HDMI additional ranges. I mean, but what's the price of that? Where to buy? Let's see what it comes up. I want to see what the price of this is. If I don't see it on B&H Photo, okay, it's like the same thing. Oh, come on now. Yeah, it don't show nothing. I don't know. Out of habit, when I see stuff and it takes you to like an integrator and it doesn't tell you what the price is, most of the time, I mean, they're going to charge an arm and a leg for that stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know about that. Quan, do you offer one-on-one classes for beginners? I'm interested in learning more, but I would need to show you with what we are working. Yes, that's where normally my consultations are for, where we do stuff like that. If you're interested, that's where you go to ajhomes.com, set up consultations, and that's a one-on-one where we can do some stuff to see what we can do to help you out. Back to Yuki. Tips on camera angles. Well, I'm still kind of working on that myself to get some more dynamic stuff. Like for me, and I need to do this in a podcast. I'm redoing the graphics for the podcast as well too, so we can start up season 2. I'll change it to season 2 now since we're in 2025. But the thing that I do, like I'll give you some insider stuff. the 50 install challenge that I'm doing for this year, I'm researching how to make it look like a HGTV like remodeling show. So for me, I'm watching HGTV, the Property Brothers, other stuff like that to see the type of camera angles, the pacing, how they're cutting over, how they're showing the time lapses, how they're showing different stuff so I can get that type of feel. So I'm studying that. So when you talk about getting camera angles, the best thing, whether you like them or not, it doesn't matter. Look up the Stephen Furtick's, the Joel Osteen, see their cinematography and their videography. That will give you ideas on that. Now, when it comes to audio for OBS, I need some examples of that. You talking about just audio getting into it, cleaning it up. Need some directions with that. Anthony, on Envato Elements, what's the name of the template you use to make your website intro video? On which website? Or are you talking about on here? Oh, I see you made a correction to it. The intro, let me see. Let me see the name of that. And thankfully, Envato Elements now lets you do stuff and sort by project, so it makes it easier to try and find what I was doing. Now, I've downloaded a lot of stuff, so might take me a minute to try. Like, I have 50 pages of downloads on here. Oh, actually, over 50 pages of downloads. I'm gonna have to circle back to you to find exactly the one that I got, because it's gonna take me a minute to search through all of these for you, Anthony. Okay, Crystal was saying that's the only system we use. So what I would think with the X-Air, just like with any of these, are you running a separate mix just for the live stream, or is it mimicking the exact same thing that's being sent out to the house? That's what you're sending to your live stream. Either one of them can work, but we're just trying to whittle it down to see what we can do to help you get it straight, because that will work. But I would think running a separate mix that's made just for your live stream would help. And then also we can remove some stuff that might be causing an echo or making it sounding kind of bad for your live stream. I think we could help with that. Philip Paul wants to know, do you keep the recordings in the SSD that you recorded? No, I dump everything off of my SSD into my NAS. So actually, I need to actually go through and do cleanup for the year. So like right now, I have a 20 terabyte drive that has all the way back to 2021. And I just made a folder for 2025. These are all of the raw recordings of everything. Like, I had video, y'all. I mean, obviously y'all never saw this one. I took my daughter to Hershey Park. We had some fun up that way. Oh, that's too loud. So I normally keep a lot of this stuff here, and I thought I muted this. So, I mean, I normally keep all my stuff there. When I'm at church, I keep 2 years. For me, probably 2021, I'm probably gonna keep 10 years and then archive this off. But that's just me. But no, I do not keep it on the SSD. John, we now use Interlope rechargeable batteries for our wireless microphones. We used to use the Fujitsu, not Fujitsu, what no. prior, but when we started getting more Shure SLXB battery packs, we were having intermittent issues. Sweet. Austin Pierre. Our church is thinking about leaving StreamYard. Would you recommend streaming through the A10 Mini or through ProPresenter? Please do not stream through ProPresenter. Don't do that. ProPresenter is buggy. It's good, but it's buggy. I personally don't like using my presentation stuff and my streaming at the same time, because if it crashes, you've now lost both. I personally would use, if you have a computer that's fast enough, OBS. If you don't want to add another computer, add an A10 Mini Extreme into that, and that would be the easiest thing that I would personally recommend. I've had way too many times I've had to come back and pull people off of ProPresenter from streaming. OBS or the ATEM works great for you. Back to John. They were shut off more quickly and bumped. Switching to Envato resolved this issue. I've been physical size difference, but we have not had any issues. Sweet. Invalid interlope batteries, just throwing it out in case anyone had similar issues. Well, thank you for that. James, do you think churches are getting to the point where they will embrace the fact that loving God is a lifestyle and that the content can be shot from a lifestyle lens as well as sermons? I mean, honestly, the issue that I have is, see, we were going good. I didn't have a soapbox moment. We're gonna do one right now. What I think the issue with the church is, they're trying to talk to a 2025 world with 2000 BC methods, meaning that just because you walk into church with dirty, dusty sandals and your ephod and all that other stuff does not make you holier than anybody else. Does not mean that that's the only way that God's message can be communicated. Most of churches, let's get all the church nonsense out of the way. Most reason why churches are not trying to change is because they reject change, they fight change, they don't understand it, and they demonize what they don't want to understand, because ultimately for them to change, and it's something that they're not comfortable with, that means that they're losing control, and they don't want to lose control. They want to stay in their position of power, which has absolutely nothing to do with sharing God's word, nothing. Like, I always say this all the time. People are like saying, we don't need to have televisions inside the church. I was like, you do realize if you're trying to be biblical, back in the day, really, you weren't allowed to do what you're doing either. It used to be only certain people went into the holies of holies. Everybody else stayed out in the courtyard, but something changed. Churches don't realize we're in a transition moment, and the churches who fight change are dying. Because they don't, I mean, that's where most of my installs are coming from. Churches are like, we have to change because the members are 65 and older. They ain't no young blood coming in to supplement. You got deacons that are 70 plus years old, trustees 70 plus year old, ministers 70 plus years old. They haven't trained anybody. They have no succession planning. There's no one to backfill them because they've wanted to stay in power positions for so long, and now they're desperate. So now they call me, they call whatever, to try and modernize their media ministry to hopefully get more people involved. I say all that to say that shooting with a lens and whatever, honestly, use whatever tool that you got to share the message. It doesn't really matter. You can use that a lifestyle lens. Any of those will work. The issue is fixing this, the mindset. Because if every good and perfect gift comes from God, if you remember that, when I have highly intelligent, stupid church people say that this don't belong in church, then why did God allow it to be made? If you can answer that question, and you don't smack yourself for saying anything opposite than every good and perfect gift comes from God, everything that was made, He allowed it to be made, and it has a purpose. Yes, some people might be using it for the wrong purpose, but that does not mean it does not have a good purpose. And churches that are like, I'm afraid, I don't understand, so they shun everything, that is just a form of control. That's all it is. So let me get off my box. That was just my opinion. Actually, I don't want to say it arrogantly. That was a fact, because I've seen way too many churches do that. G. Albert, thank you for the super chat. I have no idea why my super chats are not popping up like they used to. I need to look into that. Ty, without comparing apples to apples, what is an average typical investment range, low to high, for churches to think about considering a live streaming? Low, $1,000. If you're trying to redo everything, networking, to get the infrastructure right, televisions throughout the church, displays, all this other stuff, high end, maybe, I'm speaking for me, as in what I've done, my company has done, range from $1,000 up to around like $72,000. That's if you're trying to go all in and be super duper 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 fancy. That's just me. Shane and Hannah, hello. I need to get back out to London. I need to get back over there. I really like that place. I know better now what to be prepared for. Back to Crystal. It's connected through the speakers and monitors next to the stage. We get the audio from the room, which isn't clear or loud enough. I have to have the speakers and the mics up high. I use Streamlabs. All right, so most likely that sounds like I would set up a separate mix. And can we pull this? I'm gonna see if I can pull down an app here. All right, so the XAir has an app similar to the one here. I'm gonna download this and kind of show you an example of what I would do with this. Yes, run. All right, so similar to the X32, the XAir, this is the app. And these buses would be your mix. So for right now, say you got all this stuff set up here. What I would do, and this is kind of similar to what we talked about earlier, I would come in here, name one of these buses live stream. And with this one, most of the time the outs are specific. I don't believe that you can do routing to change this port to be something different. So I'll say I'll set this as live stream and I'll make this red. So when I go here, now you see everything is in red. So I'm making adjustments just for my live stream. So in here, you can set whatever levels in uniquely for what's going to your live stream compared to the house. So here in the house, say, oh, I don't want, oh, the organ is too loud because we have a Leslie inside there. I'm gonna turn that down. Because in the house, that's fine. But in the live stream, see, I can have a completely different volume for the live stream that's separate from the house. This is what I would suggest for you, because then you can have a separate mix and then you can crank the volume up that will work specifically for your live stream compared to the house. And that's already built into your XAir. The app makes it real easy for you to do. And that's what I would do. Running from there, find out whatever your output is. You have 6 outs on your XAir. Pick one of them that's available. Make one your live stream mix. I like to have it a different color, so it makes it easy for me to know which one I'm adjusting compared to main. Then you can set your volume to whatever level that you need to. If you need to, you can crank that output all the way up. You shouldn't have to do that, but you can crank that all the way up, but that is completely independent and separate from what's going on into your house. That's the reason why I like making a separate mix for the live stream, so it can be mixed completely differently just for everybody online compared to in the house. I hope that helps you. But like you said, if you ever need any help with that, you can set up a consultation and we can try and get that dialed in there for you. Richard. I'm trying to remember which of your videos cover as presenter covers lower thirds. It should be one that just talks about making it. Are you talking about? I did a bunch of them that talks about how to put lower thirds over top of live video. I did another one adding lower thirds after the fact, adding lower thirds during the fact. We got a bunch of them there, or how to create it from the beginning. Yuki, hey, I'm glad to help you. Ty, thank you so much for the super chat. Very much appreciated it. Created for fun. How do you set up the cameras on the Famaco camera controller? I hit the search, but it doesn't recognize the cameras. In the Famaco IP search, I see the cameras, but I can't change the IP addresses. Yeah, you're gonna have to remote directly into those cameras, because I think the firmware on the cameras when we installed those there didn't have them set up to DHCP, so you're gonna have to go in and change those. And it's most likely the controller can't see the cameras if they're still on that 192.168.5. What you really could do, if you wanted to, you can change your joystick back to 192.168.5 something, and you do search, then you should see it. But I like to put all of those on the same network so that you can see them. Yeah, you would do that as a consultation. That would be the easiest way to do that. Filippo, we recently upgraded our sound system. We got the XR18, 16 channel analog as a backup. So for now, we're using the X18 for main service and the analog mixer for their practice and prayer meeting. Cool. Thanks. We used the M2, so OBS is cool. Glad it helped. Josh, Happy New Year to you as well, too. Are there any cameras you would recommend for a smaller church that is growing? We're in an auditorium, and it's a far shot YouTube channel, Born Again Ministries. The AVCans E20s are very good. They're 20X, but let me look up your channel here. Born Again Ministries. Is it Born Again Ministries DMV, or is it just Born Again Ministries? Let me know which one, because there's a bunch of ones with that name. Let me take the space out. Let me see. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 channels come up with that name. So I just need to know the exact one, and I can find you. We need the soapbox moments. Hey, what are we trying? I mean, on our second day of our conference, we're going to do On a Mission for the Great Commission, Stealing from the West title, where we're going to have a moment to talk about stuff like that. It's going to be an open forum, but it's going to be kind of like setting the record straight. I was listening to a sermon driving back from Oxford, and it was just talking about, you know, Luke and everybody, where they were fishing all night. And then Jesus came and told them to throw the nets on the other side. And it's just talking about that we can't just keep doing stuff the same old way and not changing. And I find it very funny when churches say that, you know, we need to get back to the way it used to be. I said, okay, well, are you getting back to the way it used to be when you used to barter for stuff? Or did you go with money? When you used to carry money all the time, are you going back to where you carried money all the time, or are you using a debit card? Are you getting back to all the time when you're using the debit card and you used to have to swipe it? Or are you changing with the times when you tap it? Everything around us is constantly changing. Only fools expect everything to stay the same all the time. There's only one thing and one person that does not change and stays the same all the time. That's God. Everything else changes. The air you breathe the oxygen you breathe goes through this body and changes the carbon dioxide. Something is always changing. The seed that you put in the ground changes, goes through gestation, and becomes a plant. As long as the earth remains, there will always be seed time and harvest. So to sit back and think, we're going to do the same thing when we have the plaque on the wall with the 4 hymns that we're going to sing. We're going to do He is Lord, Holy, Holy, Holy. When it comes to February, if you are in the African-American descendant church, we're going to do Lift Every Voice and Sing when it comes to February. No, the stuff has to change. You can't, just like the same way when it comes to generations. Now I'm really on my soapbox. The fact that there's AI, there's Google, there's all these searches. Back in the day when it used to be, somebody is just going to preach and say a message and says, you have to have faith, and that's it. There's no context. There's no nothing. Let me give you a tip. That's the reason why nobody's interested in what you're saying. At this point, and I'm not trying to be negative to older generations, you can't just tell Generation X or Gen Zers or what, you can't tell any generation that was born in the late 70s and higher, just do something with no type of context. We don't do that anymore. And don't say that as a negative. This is an opportunity to educate. Like, for example, can I do something real quick? I'll tell you something I told my choir that I taught for 5th Sunday. So if we go to song, why am I doing it this way? We got the technology. Let me go here to Psalms 23. And can we put that in a lower third format? Give me a second here. And I'm gonna put this, not lyrics, scripture. Yeah, we do it like this. And we need our DSK. Where's my stuff at? No, not that one, AJ. There we go. All right. We go to 23rd Psalms. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Make me lie down in green pastures. Leads me beside the rivers. Restores my soul from His name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff and thy company. And I actually using, no, this is it. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Most people will just go through that, and they don't give any context to that. So this is me. One of the things that I'm doing this year, and it sounds wrong because it wasn't taught right, I'm going into this year being more selfish, meaning that I need to work on self. Because how can you ever expect anybody to love you and treat you right if you don't treat yourself right? You have to start with you. Get this straight. So why do I bring that scripture up? I'm going to give you a flaw of me. I will go bend over backwards to help pour into people. And I have been drained because I didn't have equally anybody pour back into me. What I realized, it says that He anoints my head with oil, my cup runneth over. It's not meant for me to pour into people. It is meant for people to get the runoff after God has filled me up. Because if I give you everything that God gave me, I'm running on E and I'm doing it without Him, I'm in a very dangerous place. Because once I get on E, my attitude comes out, my patience, my frustration kicks in. But if I let Him keep filling me and you get the runoff, the overflow, then I'm able to help because now I'm being concerned to make sure, am I in right standing with you? Am I studying you? God, are you filling me up? Am I doing what I need to do? Am I in right standing with you? So I'm working on my communication, or am I giving every single thing that you meant for me and I'm giving to somebody else that's really not meant for them? Am I trying to be their God? Or can you fill me up, and after you've blessed me with everything that runs off, I can help other people? That's just me. But That's what I'm talking about, giving some more context to the stuff that's going on, because a lot of people would just tell you stuff like, hey, you need to pay your tithes. Why? Because God says pay your tithes. Why? Don't ask why. No, that when people ask a why, they're seeking more understanding. What's the old adage? Like, if I just give you a fish, okay, I've only satisfied you for the moment. You answer the why. We talk about this. Why are your YouTube videos should answer questions? Because it's going to help people move forward, instead of you being a drug dealer and you just give them a little fix so that they come back to you next week. That's what I always tell churches when I do an install. I said, when I'm done, my goal is for you not to call me back. Meaning that you didn't call me back because I didn't do something wrong, didn't do something right. You call me back because you want to add on to what I've done. So I don't know. I went off on a tangent on that. Let me shut up. Bruce, exactly. Is there any XLR switcher that I can use to make it easy to transfer the audio between mixers? There will be another group that will rent the church for another day. An XLR switcher? I mean, I wouldn't do that. I would just, if you really want to duplicate everything, just get a Y splitter and split every cable and run it into each one. That's what I would think. I'm not aware of any XLR switcher at all. John, for about 100 attending people, would Ubiquity Cloud Gateway be sufficient? Yes, it would. The Cloud Gateway can support up to 3,000. So you should be fine. I'm trying to push my church to stop streaming everything and only stream the sermon, create intentional content. I mean, it's got to be a focus on something. Again, it's good to get everybody start streaming, but now, like you said, what's the intent of it? Like, if your live stream sucks, there's no reason to show everything. Again, and Elder Rob is going to be talking about that church branding at our conference. And you got to be mindful of the content that you put out. Like, I believe it's nothing the matter with a live streaming the entire service, but at a certain point, if you know your stuff is kind of out there, live stream it, make it private so that only the church, do it on your website so they can see the whole thing. But everything else is presented on social media where people find you. Make that be edited, make that be intentional, so that people can see that. Because again, if you went to go look at a Tesla and all you do is see videos of using the Cybertruck to blow up stuff and all this other crazy stuff, you're going to have a bad taste in your mouth thinking that's what everything is. But you need to be intentional with your ministry. As in, back in the old day, the church was revered. At this point, because there's so much foolishness out here, churches need to take an active assignment to present who they are. Because if you don't do that, you are automatically going to be lumped into all the hypocritical churches out there because you chose to be lazy and you didn't go out there and actively say, it is our responsibility for the community to know what our church stands for, and just instead of us let them assume what it's for, you know. Let's go back. Tell me what that sounds like. Go back on there. Aaron, I know what you mean about streaming with Pro Presenter 7. When we switched to Resi, I had to use Pro to stream to Resi until we got a Ray encoder. And when using Pro to stream, gave me issues. Pro Presenter for 7. James, we got 20-year-olds that watch a person live life and do anything for money. Which shows, now let's look on the other side of that. Like, well, hey, we're here, so we're going to talk about it. I've been making a hard cut off to Instagram because it's like straight softcore porn. that shows up all the time. And I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real transparent. I'm thankful for what I'm doing, but sometimes I get annoyed that I'm like, God, I'm out here trying to help. And it's some lady on Instagram got all her butt cheeks out. That's all she's doing, flaunting everything. And she's got 7.2 billion people following. I'm here just trying to help churches move forward. And we haven't even cracked 100,000 subscribers. And a part of me, realistically, I'm just like, man, what's the point? Like, it's like I'm trying to help. Even churches and Christians ain't doing nothing, but we're promoting all this foolishness more than anything else. You know, and we have to flip that and say, obviously, there's a need. That's the reason why people are doing that. Why do people look up all the money-making stuff? Everybody want to be on OnlyFans, all of it, because that is meeting a need that if you really dig down, people are struggling. What does that also tell me? Everything else, the old ways that have not changed, that have not been helping anybody, have not evolved. So that's why they're jumping on these trends of showing half your skin, doing all this, doing scams, ripping off people because, oh, I'm seeing people get the results that all these other people in churches are still saying stuff back in the day that is not relevant to me now. What do I give an example? Hey, you need to set aside time and come to church on Sunday. You demonizing me, but my job makes me work on Sunday. So how can I watch service when you don't want to live stream? Well, you should come to the church. How can I come to the church where my job makes me work on Sunday? See, that's a change. They're still demonizing something that somebody in the culture has to do. Because it's easier for people in the churches to demonize what they think people should do and point the fingers at everybody else and getting off their tail and change to reach people. Jesus didn't have a church. He went to people. He didn't tell people, come to my church to listen to my message. No, he went to people. And that's the issue. Anyway, Bruce. Now let's go to the next person. Jason. Yo, Jason, I knew that was you. Man, Jason, I worked with them when worked for Mark Warner under the Tech Rider program when we went to community churches and taught. Man, great to talk to you, man. Awesome. Hey, hit me up. I need to catch up with you. See what's going on with you. Email me at AJ Holmes and we'll follow up with you, man. Good to see you, man. I got it. I think the word excellent deserves many use it at church, but not aligned on what is or what it could be. I mean, that's the whole thing. Shane and Hannah, can you do the thing that you've done in the past when you ask people to post their live stream links? And then, yeah, I'm going to do that for this Sunday coming up on the Facebook group. And I'm doing a graphic because I'm going to start doing a video where we do reviews as well, too. So, yes, we will get to that. James, it's excellent showing your progression of suppressing others over the course of the day, month, or year. Or is it surpassing? I'm saying suppressing. Progression of surpassing others over the course of a day, month, or year. Or is it surpassing a certain bar? Good question. Crystal, gotcha. I'm honestly still learning all of the settings with that app. I only have basic knowledge of it. That makes a lot of sense, though, and I would try to do that this weekend. Hey, you are welcome. We got people talking with each other. Awesome. Rashawn, any advice for individuals consider providing services as such in their area? Any tips or advice would be great. Love your work, and I pray God's best for you. Yeah, so for me, what I did is, and it depends on your level of expertise. When I was learning this stuff, I asked people just for the opportunity to use their stuff as an example. Meaning that, oh, you don't have nobody to record your wedding? Look, I'm not a professional. Do you mind if I record your wedding? And then I'll at least give you a free recording of it with the hopes of you got it recorded. And all I ask is you give me some critiques on how I can improve. I kept doing that, whether it be funerals, whether it be weddings, whether it be church services, to build up my repertoire and give me experience to get better. And then as I started doing that, when I started feeling confident in my skills, I slowly started raising my price. Now, I'm going to tell y'all now, when somebody hires me to do a live stream and I'm bringing my stuff, a 3-hour live stream for me is $2,500 because I'm bringing everything. That's still cheap compared to what I know other people do, but that's just me. When it gets to weddings and stuff like that, if they just want a raw recording of the wedding, hey, that's around like $1,500 to $2,000. If you want the full shebang, well, I can't do drone stuff until I get my Part 107 license done. But let's say I had that done. You want the drone, you want the behind the scenes, you want the walk up, you want it like it's a fairy tale wedding TV show. Oh, you're talking about $8,000 for me to do that. But again, I don't come in there just throwing a price. I have a body of work behind me that shows I know what I'm doing. So with that, make sure whenever you're ready to offer that stuff, that you have built up a repertoire and a reputation that you can deliver what you're going to offer, and you have examples to show them what they're doing. And even if you don't, constantly put yourself in a position to perfect your craft. Always do something with it. And then also make sure you get your LLC, get your EIN number, put all that stuff in there and get your stuff legal. So that you can protect yourself, and then you can get insurance, liability insurance, because you will unfortunately deal with some knuckleheads that don't like some stuff, and you got liability insurance to cover yourself. So hopefully that helps. That's a really high level of some stuff. Courtney, what are some good options for remote desktop where you can turn the computer on remotely? It all depends, because routers and firewalls break a lot of that stuff. What I did, and I meant to do the video with it, I was having an issue recording this, setting up how I do it. I use Chrome Remote Desktop because that's free. And then I set my stuff into a Casa Smart Plug that I can turn the outlet that the computer is connected to on and off. And then inside the computer, I set the BIOS to say when power is restored, automatically turn the computer on. When you put all those things together, you can make the Casa app restart, turn the power off, turn it back on, which makes the computer turn back on. Once it gets in and it has an internet access, I can remote back in. I'm gonna do a video for that because it didn't come out the way I wanted to, because obviously y'all didn't see it. But that's what I normally do for mine. All right, I answered that. Jahil, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. I'm thinking about adding a Decklink Duo 2 to feed 3 TCL TVs. How is the Decklink Duo with 4K TVs? Will it be able to upscale to 4K? I do have an AMD GPU. I mean, yes, the Decklink Duo is 4K, I believe. I actually sold mine, so I can't actually reach over to the left and confirm. I stand corrected. The Decklink Duo is 1080p. It doesn't go up to 4K. And they don't have a Decklink Duo 4K. They don't have one of those. Yeah, so the Decklink Duo is not 4K. I'm looking here through the standards. Yeah, Decklink Duo only goes up to 1080p. So you won't be able to convert that up to 4K. But I mean, are you sending 4K footage to the TVs? Because honestly, 1080p going to most of the TVs I'm installing 4K, but I'm still sending a 1080p signal to it and it still looks great. But let me know how your flow is with that, on like what content are you sending to it. Okay, I think I answered that one. I am interested in buying a Behringer mixer wing, but I want also associate Dante. Doesn't have Dante. Is it possible? No, it has a Dante card that you can put in there, and that would give you support. Courtney, y'all funny. We're gonna finish up this pretty soon. You know, it was funny at my uncle's funeral. They had me on there as Reverend Doctor. I was like, no, it was Reverend Dr. Arthur A. Holmes Sr. That was my dad. It's just Dr. Arthur A. Holmes Jr., not a Reverend. I'm just leave that alone. Yeah, that's all through ProPresenter, and I just turned down the gain on the ATEM to do that. Hey, we got to start off 2025 right, man. My ATEM stream has a bad HDMI out. It's not working. Have you come across any repair services Blackmagic would cause? Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it stinks that to repair it, it almost costs the same as just buying a new one. I've never had anyone easily repair it. If I had another one that wasn't critical, I could probably go back and maybe resolder on. If I had another one that wasn't critical, I would probably be tempted to open it up and see if I could fix it, but haven't been in a position like that. But yeah, it does stink that the cost that much. I have not found any services that will repair them. It's always been like maybe $75 to $100 cheaper of just buying a brand new one. Exactly. Yep. Mike. Yeah, it does stink. It stinks. Regarding my question about the SSD, is there any way that I can transfer? Yes, you can use your ATEM is running a file server directly. If you navigate to it and you keep the drive in place, you can pull stuff over. That's what I do with mine. So if I cut over here, right now I'm using FileZilla. If I connect to my ATEM right now, that's my USB drive, and those are my files. I can, oh, actually, excuse me, this is my hyperdeck, but it does the same thing as the ATEM. You navigate to it under an FTP server, you can pull your files that way. That's exactly how, when I record my stuff, I pull my files over that way. All you got to do is put in the IP address to it, and then it will show up. No password or nothing. That's FileZilla, and that is completely free to download. That's how I do it remotely if I need to get to stuff at Antioch or anything like that. Ty, you're starting this year on a good foot. I'm enjoying this Q&A. You're passionate, informative, animated, enthusiastic. Hey, well, I appreciate it. Unfortunately, they do. Is it true that the first two HTML ports on the ATEM stream support? Yes, that is true. That is true. See, and that's why people, they're so short-sighted when they're like, oh, we don't need this tech. The tech is not meant for the church. It is meant to reach the other people, because we're not sending people out as missionaries like it used to be. So because people in churches are so lazy, now you can let your live stream be the missionary that you ain't. That's the reason where the term E-Missionary comes from. It's for using the tech to do that for you. The quad HDMI, I don't believe you can, I had one of those. I don't believe you can turn like the SDI, I don't believe they are bi-directional. The dual link, you can turn those to incoming or output. I don't believe the DeckLink Quad supports that. Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't. But yeah, that price is up there. Question was, which laptop is good for video editing? I'm using an Acer Ryzen 9 laptop that has a RTX 3060 and it has a Radeon in there, and it video edits 4K video without any issue while I'm traveling. The main thing is you want to get yourself something with a lot of memory, 32 gigs or more. See if you could add an additional NVMe drive, which I need to actually add to my laptop, for a scratch cache drive. And then if you get one, the reason I go with the AMD one, because the AMD processor normally has a GPU, but then it also has an NVIDIA. So you got 2 GPUs in it that helps with rendering as well too. Like I said, I don't think it does. I think that's only input. It doesn't output, but I have to research that. All right, Born Again, I see ya. So let me grab this and let's take a gander at this. So this is, gotta mute this so I don't get this coming out here. All righty. See, I do like stuff like that. See, this is what makes it more personal. Let me see, what's the last? So that was, I like your thumbnails. Very colorful. Like the intro. And of course I have this muted because I ain't trying to. I like this. Now, if you wanted me to do a review of something like this, what I would do with this, I don't know what the camera that you're using, I would personally punch in a little bit more and just bring that person in for somebody who's talking when it jumps to each one. I mean, that could be, if you did this in 4K, you can always edit it after the fact. The idea, we want to put a little bit more motion into it because you got to think of the same way if I was driving down a road. And if I just kept seeing the same thing, the human brain will ignore everything that stays the same. All of a sudden, you could slip something in here and I probably wouldn't even notice it, because over time, it's the exact same thing. So if I just go through here, we're in the exact same shot. Give it a little bit dynamics, because when you change this constantly, it forces the brain to pay attention. So yes, it's more work on the media ministry, but if you cut this camera in on person in the middle who is talking, and it's just from the torso up, and they're taking up 1/3 of the shot, that brings more into that. So like if let me cut over to somebody else. I'm gonna show a history of some of the stuff I'm watching. So what's that sermon that I was watching? Actually, I met him when I went to Vid Summit. Myron Golden, cool guy, met him. But look, I'm gonna jump here and just watch what he's doing. So right now, this is the shot that he's going through. But then as he talks, when it goes to accent certain different aspects, you're always changing up the stuff to give a different dynamic. And let me speed this up so I can see it, like right there. It just cut over to just small stuff right there. It forces you to pay attention, because now this is the only subject on there. It's a visual representation of pay attention. Just like in movies, they blur out everything else and put only things in focus that they want you to pay attention to. So like the same way, if I did this right now and I got my camera out of focus. And of course, it's not going to do it now while I'm trying to turn it up. So I don't know where my focus is. It's locked. So it's doing, but normally I can set this to where, I mean, you can kind of see it. I got a bokeh where everything else around me is blurred out and it's forcing you to pay attention. Subconsciously, you're doing it. You're not looking at the out of focus PTZ or my drawer that's been open. You're looking at me because I'm in focus, because that's how the brain works. You're using the cameras to leverage that stuff. And that's just little stuff that I would say. But again, we're going to bring back doing the reviews of live streams and stuff like that to do that. And man, I didn't realize we've been talking for long. We started at 10 and we've been going for 2.5 hours. So we're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon. Ty, I installed the Casa switches to 90% of my switches in the house. I also use the Casa doorbell and Casa can add functionality to deployments. My HDMI, and then second one, my HDMI out is bad too. I called them and it was out of warranty, so they couldn't do anything. My A10 Mini Stream Pro ISO is 3 years old. Yeah, it stinks though. Yeah, but what AI tools are you into for 2025? What I'm using right now, I'm gonna cut back over here. I don't know if you can see it. I am using Fuel, Creative Fuel, that helps me with my stuff on YouTube. I'm gonna do a video about that using Opus Clips. I'm still using ChatGPT, but then I'm also using my plugin. So I'm gonna give you a tip on how I do my descriptions. I don't know if you've read any of my descriptions on my videos, but I don't write them anymore. So I'll come over here and I'm gonna go to this last video that I just did. So when I do this, I have this plugin right here. I click over here to summarize video, and it goes for any page I go to. But for right here, I click on this. It pulls up the entire transcript of what I did. It summarizes it, but then I say, write a first person 1 paragraph description for a YouTube video. I do that. In this video, I take you behind the scenes on day 6 of upgrading. This is what I do. So let's go to another one. Let's go to, I'm gonna use y'all's for example. So I'm gonna come here. Let's summarize this. And this tool gives a whole bunch of other features as well too. So it transcripts this, and see, it's giving me key points. It's giving me timestamps. So I don't have to make that. It will do that. And I'll say, give me the main talking point of this video. Emphasizes the importance of wisdom, focus, faith, and relentless pursuit in preparing for 2025, encouraging believers to grow spiritually, stay connected to God, and pursue this. And then I would say, give me a question title for a YouTube video for this transcript that is under 60 characters long. How can wisdom, faith, and pursuit shape your 2025? That would be a great YouTube title, because it's answering the question, how do I make 2025 better? That answers it. So I'll use stuff like that for my videos and things like that. Philip Paul, like I said, my NAS is an external drive. It does the exact same thing. That's why I transfer mine to. Jerry, the OC, because of the power switch does not turn on after power loss. Hope they add a menu option to bypass the power switch. Yeah, that kind of stinks. Since we had changed our cameras to 45-degree angles, our AV team has talked more and our videos look more engaging. Also, talked to a photographer, videographer that said angles make everything look more 3D. Yeah, and then 3-point lighting also helps separate the person from the background as well too. That's what I'm saying. Media ministry is not we just gonna buy this stuff and we're done. It's always things that you can improve to make better. You are welcome. Thank you. Thank you. No, that's a free plugin. Doesn't cost anything. How can I watch making sermon clips? I'm a paid Patreon. You should have a link to it, but that video is up on YouTube now from the last conference. So it should have access to that. I made all of them able to be seen. Alrighty, folks, we went long today. So again, thank y'all for hanging out with me. Want to give a big shout out to our Patreon supporters. It's people like them that make this stuff possible. If you like what we do, folks, you can consider and you want to consider supporting us and you like what we do here, you can go to patreon.com/AJaytheCEO, or you can click the join button down below to become a YouTube member. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. And then also we got bonus discounts if you're a Patreon member or a YouTube member. There, you need to go through the community tab or on Patreon, look at the post, because y'all have a discount on getting into the E-Missionary Conference for 2025. But again, thank you for your support. Thank you for those who gave super chats throughout the video and all this other stuff. And folks, again, I don't want to sound like this is cliche, because I'll say this once. Last year, I was dealing with a lot of depression. I don't show that stuff. I put on my YouTube smile and stuff like that. And the reason I'm telling you that, because a lot of stuff I do, not that I do it for people to tell you for getting pats on the back. I don't do it for that, but it does help when you're actually appreciating what you do. I don't do it for appreciation, but sometimes people can be starved for appreciation. That's the reason why I want to shout your team out. And that's why I tell you that you are important. All the stuff you're doing, you sitting here listening to me blab for 2.5 hours, you doing research on different products, skills, techniques, you are important. The reason why you're interested in the stuff that you are, because God called you for that. He gave you that interest. That's why you're interested in the stuff you're doing. It doesn't matter. When God called you, he didn't make a conference call that everybody else has to approve. No, he called you. So if these are the things you're interested in, it's because he made you to have the ability to do it. And it means if he gave you the ability or the desire to do that, desire shows latent ability on what you're capable of doing. I have no desire to be a basketball star. That's why I'm not interested in basketball. I am interested in this stuff that shows that I have the capacity to do it because God gave me the strength to do that stuff. So don't worry about if everybody around you is not appreciating what you're doing. That's what this community is for us to uplift everybody else. That's what our roundtables are for. That's what we do. So you're with like-minded people. So know that you are appreciated. You are appreciated. If you were not here, something would be missing. Something would be missing from your local church, from your local city, state, country. Something would be missing. Something would be missing in the body of Christ. There's something that God gave only you, that only you can be fulfilled. There are people waiting on you to do what you do. Don't be distracted by the people that are hating on what you can do or what you've been called to do. That's what this community is for. It's to uplift and build each other up, to push you forward. I hope that what I do, this sounds crazy, my whole goal is to encourage y'all that, yes, we're on our way to 100,000 subscribers. It's for my 100,000 subscribers to each have 100,000 subscribers. I want you to do better than me, because then I know what I'm doing is helping. So I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a great day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. Make it a great year. Leave 2024 in the past. Let's move forward. Let's move on to bigger things. I hope you have a great day, evening, afternoon. I already said that, but folks, we'll be talking to y'all on the next one. And be on Facebook. And if you've never been on a roundtable, you don't want to miss that. All that information is on Facebook, and we'll be doing that on Sunday. So anyway, folks, Talk to y'all later. Have a good one.